Marge decided to grow vegetables in the yard, but the crows kept eating the seeds. No matter what Marge did, she couldn't get rid of them. So, she made a scarecrow. As soon as she placed the hat on it, the crows were scared away. When Homer got home after work that evening, he was startled by the scarecrow. He quietly sneaked around to the back of the scarecrow.
You ain't pretty no more.
The crows landed on Homer's arm. They considered him their hero. From now on, Homer was the Crow King. No matter where Homer went, the crows followed him. Even when he slept, the crows stayed with him. One day, while the crows were feeding Homer donuts, Homer saw Maggie waving her arms at the window. The crows then lifted Maggie into the sky, but the next second, Maggie fell down. Fortunately, Maggie wasn't hurt. Homer gave the crows a stern scolding. This made the crows angry. They attacked Homer, pecking at his eyes.
That is not a worm!
Homer's eyes hurt badly. He asked the doctor if there was any way to relieve the pain. The doctor suggested medical marijuana, which was the best remedy for eyes. This reminded Homer of a bad memory. Back in high school, Lenny had encouraged him to try marijuana, but just then, the police showed up, and Homer quickly hid the marijuana. Now, to treat his eyes, Homer decided to try it again. The smoke wafted into the living room, and Marge rushed upstairs when she noticed it. She opened the door and found Homer smoking. Homer pulled out his prescription and explained it was legal. With the marijuana, Homer's mood improved every day. His world was filled with rainbows. No matter what Mr. Burns said, Smithers always had the same expression. Burns needed someone who would laugh at his jokes, and that's when Homer showed up.
Well, you're not happy, Homer. What's your name, young man?
You just said it!
Well, if you like that, listen to this. Working hard or hardly working?
Burns' jokes made Homer laugh non-stop, so he decided to make Homer the executive vice president. Homer drove a luxury car back home. Marge was worried about Homer because the house now smelled like marijuana, but Homer had been promoted, and he believed it was all thanks to the marijuana. That night, Marge found that Homer wasn't in bed, but she heard voices from the attic. It turned out Homer was watching a show with the school bus driver. Just then, the news came on, reporting that marijuana had made progress toward being made illegal. A vote would be held next Tuesday. Homer decided to stop the movement.
Alright, I'm gonna need 10,000 veggie burritos.
No guac in mine. Good night, Homer. Dude, your mom is hot.
He gathered all the medical marijuana users together, and as their leader, he stood on stage. He wanted to lead everyone to keep medical marijuana legal. Homer told everyone to prepare for Tuesday's vote, but someone said it had already been yesterday. Homer opened the newspaper and realized they had lost the vote. Meanwhile, outside the police station, officers were destroying all the medical marijuana.
Actually, that smoke is a little too inviting. Throw on that sack of barber hair.
Homer could only watch through the window as the marijuana was destroyed. Marge told him his eyes were fine now, and he didn't need it anymore. Marge hoped Homer would quit for the sake of the kids.
As long as you're doing things for me, would you tie up your bathrobe when you walk around the house?
Never!
3 days passed, and Homer's mind cleared up a lot. He was no longer a slave to marijuana.
Why are you keeping that thing?
As a reminder, Marge.
Then Homer got a call from Mr. Burns. Burns had prepared a speech for an investors meeting, and he really needed Homer's laughter. But without the marijuana, Homer couldn't laugh. This made Burns anxious and sweaty. He decided to take a bath. In order to solve the problem, Homer pulled out the marijuana and handed it to Smithers, because he had promised his family he wouldn't smoke it anymore. 60 minutes passed, and Burns still hadn't come out. Realizing something was wrong, Smithers rushed to the bathroom and found Burns unconscious in the bathtub. They all thought Burns had died, but in 20 minutes the investors meeting would begin. So, they decided to control Burns' body and perform a dance in front of everyone. Suddenly, the rope broke, and Burns fell onto the stage. Homer quickly announced the performance was over, but fortunately, Burns survived. The ropes had revived his heart.
And you wanted to take him to the hospital.
Oh, and you didn't? Well, the world has finally shown its fangs. Smithers, make me slap him. You call that a slap? Make me slap you.